Hi, welcome. And what we're going to talk about today is the process a prospective improved value creation client is going to take once they begin their value creation program here with Improve. So, what you're going to see is if this is going to be from the client's perspective, but also you'll see it through the lens of a consultant. So we're going to demonstrate all this and what you can expect when a client is onboarded. The first thing we're going to go through is and talk about is who we are, what we do, who we help, how we help them, what are the results a client can expect, roadmap, both from a consultant's perspective and then also what a client's going to see. And then we're going to get into Zoho, our CRM, and a client getting assigned to a consultant as an appointment, the consultant doing the strategy session, identifying red flags, making suggestions on how to start working on those red flags through getting better or additional resources into their businesses, submitting the client's information to the appropriate suppliers, and then once you begin the actual work with the client, what some of the features are in our value creation program. This will give you a sense of how comprehensive our improved value creation program is, why we are supremely confident that our abilities to deliver this program is solid, and why our referral partners such as M&A and private equity firms see us as a great solution and option for them, for their companies they represent, and also the companies within their portfolios. So who we are, I'm Jason Gary. I'm host of the nationally broadcast syndicated radio show Big Pitch Radio with Kevin Harrington, who you see on the right-hand side, a former business consultant with Tony Robbins Companies, a motivational speaker, and I also am the founding partner of Improve with Kevin Harrington, and we are very excited to have you here with us today. Kevin Harrington is the original shark on ABC's Shark Tank, also considered the pioneer of the infomercial businesses out there in the marketplace today. So when you see the George Foreman grill, the Ginsu knives, the Jack LaLanne juicers, his products have sold over $7 billion in the marketplace, and over 20 of his companies have reached $100 million in sales plus. We are able to build enterprise value within organizations. So that's what we do. We go inside of small to middle market companies and we build their enterprise value. So we say small companies, $1 million in revenue, up to middle market companies, somewhere around the $50 to $100 million companies. And we can go a little bit beyond that as well on a project by project basis. What we do is we work with these clients over the course of a year on average and address and optimize over 20 different value drivers from sales and marketing and finance and human resources, competition. These are just some of the value drivers that we focus on and optimize over the course of our engagements with our clients. The result and what a client can expect from working with us is a higher sell price and a happier seller. So that's what we like to do for our clients. There's really a 6-step process that our clients and our consultants are going to go through. So the client's going to get assigned to the consultant. We'll show you some of this here in a moment, some visuals. A consultant will then hold a strategy session. We'll go through an example strategy session very quickly, some potential red flags, and then we want to get consensus from the client that they need to address these. And the beginning of that will be that maybe they get introduced to some vendors and suppliers that can do a better job at a more competitive price point. And then we're going to show you what the consultant will do to submit that information, the client's information, to a supplier so that the process can begin for that supplier to reach out to that particular client. And then we're going to give you an example of some of the resources that are available within our back-end system for the consultant to utilize when working with the client. So let's give you some um, examples here. Now, this is a screenshot, and you're only seeing part of the page of our Zoho CRM system. But what you're here looking at right now is the dashboard that a consultant will see when they have a seat within our CRM system. And you're going to have different quadrants here. On the upper left-hand quadrant, let's say here you will have um, an example of the clients that were assigned to you and to start working with, and you'll be able to click into each one of these records. Also, there is a calendar view where you can see when you're going to hold these strategy sessions so you can begin the work with a client. And so you will have a seat on the CRM if you don't already, and you will be assigned these clients for you to start beginning work with the clients on a date that's chosen for you by Gary Bender, who is our director of consulting. He will assign the client, it will land on your calendar, and you will begin the strategy sessions. So with that, let's get into showing you very briefly what a strategy session will look like, which should be held over a span of 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on how many questions the client has and so on. So what I've done is I've teed up an example strategy session here to get the process started and show you what this is like. So we're going to go ahead and launch immediately a strategy session, which we'll do real time, and you'll have a chance to launch the strategy session real time when you start with the client. So we're going to go ahead and get this started here and put information here and show you what this is like. So from a client's perspective, you're going to be doing this with them during a screen share. So for the sake of this example, we're going to call this Big Dog Company. And we're going to consider ourselves a management, let's see here. Let's say we're a transportation and warehousing company. We're going to say that we have 25 employees. Our postal code is, let's go 90210. Let's go right into Beverly Hills. Let's say our revenue is $25 million. And let's say our EBITDA is right about $2.5 million. All right. And we're going to hit continue. Now we're going to go through these relatively quickly. The first part is just kind of getting an understanding of what the client wants. So the primary objective is it sustainable growth, seller transfer, acquisition, project, and strengthen. Let's go ahead and say that they want to sell or transfer. Within the next 24 months, will you need access to more capital? Let's say yes. Do you have personal or financial plan that dovetails your business into your personal objectives? Let's say the client says yes, and we'll go ahead and continue here. Now, what you're going to see at the top here are the market drivers and then the operational drivers. And all of these comprise the overall value drivers that we're going to focus on. Now, you'll notice that these questions are very sort of fun and light-hearted in nature. This is not a very, dry question and answer session. It's going to be very, very light-hearted, and that it's designed like that on purpose. We want to maintain the attention and the focus of those who are working with us and those companies that we're doing strategy sessions with. So now I'm just going to give you an example of what these questions look like, and then we're going to move through them and how these are typically approached with the client on in the session. So you're going to see that the first value driver we're going to talk about is growth, and then the question is posed here, and then down here in this italicized area, it gives you just a quick reference point on what this particular value driver is. So growth refers to a company's top line revenue, and then each one will have that, and then the questions are over here. Now, usually what I'd like to do is tell the client to read the question, read the answer, and then give me their particular answer based off of this particular question. Now, I let the client know in advance to definitely consider what and how they would answer this question, but not overthink it. Just generally get an idea of what they want to answer and then answer, because you can always adjust these things up and down. So we don't want to spend too much time on a particular question. I would say anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute tops is what you want to do on each question. So have them read it. You don't necessarily have to read each question, because uh, this is not story time with the children, right? This is letting them read it, let them find the answers that are most applicable, and then they just tell you, my business is slowing down. So for this one, does your business have a history of consistent growth greater than its competitors, coupled with projected future revenue growth above market rate? And we'll just say that business is slowing down. And then you, as the consultant, will continue. And we'll move to the next value driver: a large potential market. Does the market support significant growth of your business? And then again, this gives you a little bit of um, a definition around large potential market. The larger the market, tapped and untapped, the more attractive it is, because it represents more opportunities. However, being a leader in a smaller niche is also attractive. Even if you have a true competitive advantage, a growth market is almost always favored. So again, they're giving you sort of example around what they mean by large potential market. And let's just say, for the sake of this, we're going to say our market is pretty big, and we're going to hit continue. Now I'm just going to go through these and kind of zip through these. Does your business own the highest percentage of the available market relative to its competitors? And we'll say we're one of the smaller players. Can your business rely on a portion of future revenues from contractually committed customers? And we're going to say we're not very confident in all of our future revenue. We sell one time, but we really don't go back and create sustainable client bases. Are there significant obstacles facing a new entrant into your business market? So this is really how easy it for me to start, for a competitor to start a business in your area. And I'm going to say almost anyone can set up shop. Product differentiation. Does your business have a product service with unique character traits that provide a competitive advantage? And we're going to say we offer something different that customers like. And then we're going to get through these. From brand, our brand isn't working very strong. And you can see it going across the top. What are your margins like? We're struggling to make money. I mean, our margins are tight. Market drivers from a customer diversification standpoint. We can lose customers, but we'll feel it. So we'll just kind of zip through these. Company overview. Can somebody from the outside understand your business and get a real solid understanding of it? This might pertain in terms of selling your company or selling a client's company. This might pertain to how wide of a net you can cast in terms of who you can market this business to, who can understand it. It's very complex. It narrows that market a little bit. So let's say it wouldn't be easy. And that may determine, hey, do we want to find other companies that may be seeking a roll-up and that are already in that industry, that there's not a huge learning curve. So financials. Are all the company's financials matters in order? This could mean that if they're not, maybe an outsourced CPA or an outsourced CFO service would be applicable here. Now, what I'm going to do as we go through some more of these value drivers is, once we understand whether or not there's some strengths and weaknesses here, this will start to help us understand what products and services we might be able to introduce into that client based off of their strengths and weaknesses within each one of these value drivers. So let's talk about sales and marketing. If our key sales and marketing folks left, we would have some big problems. So this might be an opportunity to introduce into the client a sales outsourcing solution, so that should they have a lot of ebb and flow in terms of their sales and marketing staff, that they're filling in those gaps with the sales outsourcing solution, which we could offer them. And it's another way for us as consultants to, and us as an organization to generate revenue through outsourcing those services to a preferred partner that we have within our network. Operations, does your business have the ability to deliver on the sales promises made to the marketplace and to deliver in a systematic and process-driven manner? This might mean that if they're not delivering their product and service out there the way that they should in a systematic way, maybe there's process improvement that needs to be done. Maybe there's a way to monetize that. Maybe there's a technology we could bring into the situation that we're a reseller for. So they say we could do a better job. We hit continue. And customer satisfaction, does your business track and use key measures to meet customer satisfaction at all levels? So this is where, maybe there's a a survey done of the clients to understand how we could do a better job. Maybe an opportunity to re-engage the clients and to see what else we could offer them or the clients can offer them as a product or service. Again, now opening up an opportunity to introduce new products and services into the channels of these particular clients. Again, we become a reseller or are a reseller of those products and services that these clients can introduce into their client bases. Again, providing another opportunity for us to create a profit center within these organizations. A little unique approach there. Let's say they have an ability to check what they need to, but actually we're going to go down here. We really don't know what our clients need. They're not doing surveys with their clients and checking in on them on a regular basis. Senior management, does your business have a leadership team in place to realize the business's visions and missions while helping the owner achieve his or her objective? Here another chance to maybe, if they don't have all the leadership they need, to help them supplant that leadership within the organization. This could be, again, an outsourced management team, an outsourced CFO, an outsourced CPA, an outsourced sales department. So you never know. But again, anytime you introduce a new product or service into the business, it's a chance to both bring them tremendous value, but also a way for our organization to monetize that scenario. So let's go down here. We could, but we don't really have a management team, or our team is a bit dysfunctional. All right, we're almost done with the value drivers. You see how it continues to progress along the top here. Let's talk about human resources. Does your business have the ability to find, develop, and to retain quality individuals that enable success in all aspects of your business? Well, we could use some help. So this is an opportunity to reach, maybe supplant an outsourced human resources function within the organization. There's plenty of companies out there. In fact, we're partnered with some of those. And again, should they take advantage of that service? And a lot of times you'll hear these called PEOs, professional employment organizations. A lot of ways to a lot of companies that service this particular industry. But should we introduce those types of companies, these outsourced solutions, into these organizations? Then it is another chance, number one, to optimize the company and their functions, and for us to earn revenue off of that particular introduction. And then the legal side of it, do you have all your legal matters in order? We're doing an okay job, but we could probably use tightening that up a little bit. Well, we are tied into several law firms that do corporate law, business law, and could come in and get their legal house in order. Again, another opportunity for us to introduce that, optimize that particular value driver, and of course, make a referral fee off of that introduction from a marketing perspective. Finally, innovation. Does your business understand that innovation is invaluable to creating an ongoing competitive advantage? Does it have a proven and systematic way to drive and capture innovation? Again, let's go down here a little bit. We look at new ideas, but tend to just stick at what's working. And this might be an opportunity for maybe an engineering firm to be introduced to their products and services to see what other ancillary products and services could be added to their product line and possibly built out. And so again, another chance for the company to get optimized around that particular value driver, but us also to monetize the introduction to an innovation team, engineering firm, something along those lines. So again, these will give you all kinds of examples. Now we're going to hit continue, and this will pull together immediately a what we call our value gap analysis, and it'll have a lot of great information on here, and it'll have some charts, and this because of the way that this system is designed, and we put the client's email address in the front end of this process, they now have this report that you're looking at right now in their inbox that fast. And it talks about the potential business value, right? If they were to work on these value drivers, which we'll show you in a second, and the value gap from 4.59 million to 8.53 million dollars based off of their revenues, based off of the information that we gathered through the question and answering portion of this particular strategy session. But also, what we are doing is we're benchmarking this company's financials, and we're taking the questions and the way they answer those questions, and we're benchmarking it up against companies of like size and industry across the United States and the world. And that information that we're benchmarking it up against is information that's gathered from the banking institutions and the valuations that are being done over there in the world of mergers and acquisitions. And there's 800 million non-static data sets that are being evaluated on a daily basis to grab the information that we grab to pull these reports together. So this is not a lightweight report, although it looks nice and fluffy and very very easy to read. It is very comprehensive. And so let's talk about this a little bit. Just a real quick glance on the report and the value drivers. And so what you see is this big blue line here, right? That is Big Dog Company. And what you really want to see is that to be more in alignment with this bell curve here. And so because it's really out of whack here, that'll show you that there's a huge opportunity for optimizing the various different value drivers within the organization. You can see over here, growth and value opportunity. Everything in the blue area here shows where some of the strengths are, and everything in the gray areas show where a lot of the opportunities. So sales and marketing, recurring revenue, operations, and other. And we'll talk about this here in just a moment. But this is really showing you that 76% of the business has areas that could be improved. Now, I purposely answered some of the questions lower on the on the multiple choices, because I wanted to really show you some of the opportunities in terms of the different red flags that we'll see here in just a moment. Now, critical value driver, sales and marketing value driver, again, really high off the chart here. This should be more in alignment with the bell curve. And then here's some of the red flags. We'll get into this a little bit more deeper dive here in just a moment. So senior management, 3 potential red flags. If you're larger than a single shingle, it's imperative that you have a quality and capable leadership team. So this has 3 red flags. That's a really strong red flag here area. Now, human resources. Excuse me. Human resources, there's 1 red flag. The company must be able to efficiently and effectively attract, find, train, and retain quality employees. And then the company overview, 1 protection red flag on the company overview. We want to make it easier for any stakeholder, present or future, to gain a holistic understanding of the company. And we talked about that a little bit earlier. And so, anyway, if we go down here to overall score, again, you got other value drivers, and again, off the charts, which is not really what we want. And then an overall score, weak. And so this indicates, now most companies you'll talk to will be up a little bit further than this, but again, I'm just trying to demonstrate as many red flags as I possibly can. So, at any rate, nonetheless, here is generally what our report will look like in totality. Okay. Now, when you get these questions answered, this is where you'll get a chance to go in and realize that, again, through your training will give you more understanding about what value drivers you can affect. But once you identify this and gone through this particular strategy session, now it's your time to get consensus with the business owner around these value drivers and what potential solutions are available. So we talked about senior management and that they need to get a good senior management leadership team in place. We talked about human resources, and we talked about the company overview. But for purposes of this example, we're going to talk about the human resources component of it, maybe getting actually the senior management portion of this, getting other senior management in place. So you're going to also, as a consultant, have access to our submittal system to submit this particular client's information over to vendors and suppliers that can service them. And you're going to ask the vendor supplier if it'd be okay for you to have them be contacted by the supplier. And once they give you consensus that that'll be okay, then at which point you're going to go into the other system, which looks like this. Now, what this is our supplier based platform for which we submit that client's information, and then that will ping the supplier, and then they know within 24 to 48 hours to reach out to that particular client. And you'll see that we have a lot of different expense categories here. So you're not going to see all of these, right? I'm not going to scroll the page because I want to just quickly show you these. But all these are the categories and areas in which we can help the business. Now, let's just assume, for the sake of this example, that one of these had to deal with payroll and HR, which is what we're talking about. So, actually, that's what I was going to say, is going back. Let's just assume, if we go back here, that the value driver we want to focus on are human resources. We want to outsource their human resources. So we're going to go over here and we're going to click on the payroll and HR ADP. So that's one of our suppliers. So we're going to click on ADP. We're going to go down and we're going to put the client's information in. So in this case, it's me, just for example. We're going to put my information here. Let's just say jason@bigdog.com. We're going to put my phone number here. So this is the consultant doing this information, putting this information in, right? And then we're going to put Big Dog Company. Now, you'll see there's questions over here. This is what we got to answer. This is what the supplier is going to see when the information is transferred to them. Please provide us with an estimate to the below questions so that the supplier can route the question appropriately. So annual spend on this commodity. We're going to want to find out if they're spending any money on this. And if they're not, then just put 0 here. If they are, you put the amount. The same thing with company annual revenue. We just got that. And any other relevant information to the question. And then we're going to hit submit. Once we hit the submit button, in this particular case, ADP will get that information and then they will contact the client. And this will begin the process of introducing different suppliers and vendors into the clients that we're working with. And once you're done with that, you're going to go back, and each one of those categories that you feel during the strategy session the client should be introduced to, you're going to go back and you're going to go do the same exact process for each one of those. So Verizon, it's going to show you what kind of a program we have, the discounts that we can expect, more specific around the deals that we have secured, and then again putting that information in and submitting it. Now Verizon gets that information and they know to call the client and get in touch with them and engage them and hopefully close them into becoming a client for them. So that gives you a sense of what that's all about. Now, that's the entire process from soup to nuts, except for the ongoing consulting, which we're going to get a little bit deeper dive into that a little bit right now. So once you've submitted it, now that begins the process of us earning revenue sooner than later, even beyond just the expense reduction work we're going to do, or some of the expense reduction work we're going to do is going to be a little bit of delay from the time we get them onboarded till the time that they actually start procuring those services. So if it's in electricity or telecom, right? You're talking about there's going to be probably a little bit delay for the time that we work with that client and get them involved in the world of telecom and whatnot. So let's talk about the value drivers. Once you get into the value drivers as consultants, it's always good to have guidance as to what we're going to do and how we're going to do that. But once the client's fully onboarded and we move them down the path into the ongoing consulting on a biweekly or monthly basis, what you're going to do is you're going to see that this system gets quite robust. So you've only seen a fraction of a fraction of what the system is really capable of. And so, but to give you an example, we came up with all the value drivers here. But let's say they're over here. We've identified the red flags report, which is a report you can pull up. Here's the tabs over here that'll start to show you what's possible within the system. Now we're gonna we pulled up a red flag report, which is what we're on right now. This will show you not only the red flags based off this particular client, but also suggestions around what you could do. So the tasks you could assign to each one of these value drivers. We're just going to go in and show you one of these. So let's say reporting relationships. They do it all. Business owner means the value of the business in the business is in the business owner versus the actual operating of the business. So this red flag is one of the biggest and most common for private businesses looking to sell or transfer. That means the business owner is working too much in the business versus on the business, more tactically, not strategically. And so this is where maybe starting to supplant some systems and some people makes a real big difference. So a human resource outsourcing, this is a sales outsourcing solution, could be a great opportunity. So you get deeper into the red flags. Now you also have, okay, this is giving me a little fits here. Don't worry about that. But at any rate, this has a huge, vast system where you get into a lot of the different areas of the business, and it'll actually give you guidance along the way. There's workbooks, there's assignments, there's views of reports. It actually tracks the client as they go through the process. It'll actually show the value drivers improving. So there's real-time view into what goes on with the clients from both the consultant's perspective, the client's perspective, and any of our referral partners' perspective, so that as we're raising and optimizing the value of the client, the enterprise value of the client's business, then we will be in communication with our referral partners, such as M&A firms, letting them know that we feel confident that if you put this out in the marketplace to sell, that there's a good chance they'll come close or not exceed, if not exceed, the valuation that they're trying to achieve and obtain the multiple that they're trying to obtain upon sale. So with all that, it gives you a real good sense of what this whole program is about from the perspective of a consultant, from the perspective of a client, and how comprehensive this program is. So it's a very heavyweight program delivered by CFOs with business building experience that have managed both the operations and finances of companies of at least $25 million in gross yearly revenues, but on an average of $100 million in gross yearly revenues. So with that, I'm going to close, and this will give you a sense of the entire program from all different perspectives. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.